City Royals. In his last start, he pitched 7 innings. He gave up 1 run. He walked 3, had a couple of strikeouts, but he became the first pitcher in 39 years to induce double plays in 5 consecutive innings. He had 14 outs via the ground ball. And if Aaron Lappy can stay aggressive and go right at this Minnesota lineup like that today, he should be just fine. Let's set the defense behind Lappy. This afternoon it looks like this, and it is a different lineup. You've got Crow in left field, Sizemore at center, Mark DeRosa making his first start in right. Rapinino at third, Peralta at short, Cabrera at second, Garco at first, and Martinez behind the plate.
Firing crew today, Brian Knight to call the balls and strikes. The crew chief Jim Joyce down at first, Bill Miller at second, Mark Warney over at third. So we're just about ready to get things underway here today. 77 degrees, our daytime temperature here at Progressive Field. Kids Fun Day. All the kids receiving the Johnny Peralta wristbands and headbands. Johnny Peralta back in the lineup today, hoping to snap out of his funk offensively. And Eric Wedge really unhappy after last night's loss, the way his team has come home and performed after what he felt was a big turning point in New York when they split that 4-game series with the Yankees. Lappy's first pitch to Gomez is in there for the ball. His comments directed mostly at the Indians hitters. We got to change, we got to make an adjustment. I'm going to sit around and watch this. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gomez in his only at bat last night struck out, snapped a 3-game hitting streak for him. In the air, center field. Great size of it. Guys have had to deal with the sun at Progressive Field.
Well, it's you know, it's all part of it. I love it. It's nice to be sunny.
Here is Brendan Harris, the second baseman, batting in the 2-hole.
A couple of years ago, Aaron Lappy made his very first major league start against the Minnesota Twins in Minnesota. It was a great morning. It was on a Saturday. No, we did not. That's a tough place to come up and make the game. Pretty big job.
If I recall, that was the same game where Rafael Perez faced Justin Morneau twice in a relief effort, and Morneau got him a second time around with a base hit.
We televised that.
Something Aaron Rodgers will not be pleased with
something funny. That is dangerous.
Yesterday, Chu this time it looked like their legs made it entangled. Yeah. That's a size left knee.
That's a play as an outfielder you can't call for it because you don't know if you're going to get it. Brady looks back to see if he's okay. And that looked like it hurt a little bit. They did make a beautiful play. That's a good hustle. A nice catch by Crow.
Scoring position with 2 down now for Jason.
Now this is lazy. No, this is lazy. He went for the backhand. That's got to be a pass ball, in my opinion. That's not getting after. That's a little lazy. A little wild pitch. That's kind of 1-1 pitch. Foul back at the play. You tell me a catcher can't make that play. That's fine. Well, hopefully Aaron Labby can pitch her out because that's been a problem for the Indians this year's first inning runs. You don't want to fall behind.
Well, the defense is the reason he's still pitching.
Pushes that ball out. And we need to hit the dirt, hit it dry. It's little things like that that you really got to dig down into as a ball player. That comes from everybody. Everybody has to do it in their own position as far as a team goes. And the way they're struggling, they haven't put together a good, consistently played ball game as a team. So they've got to start. And that's the man that's sitting and watching. Held responsible for it, but sooner or later the players have to be held accountable. There's no damage. The Twins did not score. Indians will try against Glenn Perkins here today. Perkins, a tough left-hander for Minnesota. Eric Wedge is starting 9, presented by Brady Sizemore, Google Cabrera, and the sizzling hot Victor Martinez. Shinsu Chu, Ryan Gargo, Johnny Walton, starts, all he's done is go 8 innings in every start. No wonder Minnesota Twins started the year out there going 8 innings, giving up 2 runs or less. How's the only one? I don't know.
High Halbert win. Sizemore leads off and takes a strike. Sizemore 0 for his last 5. This is
much better this year. He was a rookie last year, and he had 12 hits. Not afraid to pitch inside. And there you see the worst run support are the 2 left-handers for the Minnesota Twins. And it is. The 2 right-handers that started this series, they had 5 and 7. So they like it.
The other thing, too, that option, at least in the case of Mariano, he's matching up against number 1 starters all of a sudden.
At the Twins defense.
So here is Asdrubal Cabrera moved up in the order. He has batted primarily 9th this year, 8th and 9th. Moves up to the 2. He's off to a great start offensively. Cabrera has hit in 9 of his last 12 games. You see his average for the year. He's also tied with teammate Shin-Soo Choo for 11th in the game with 11 walks already.
He's off to a good start. He's swinging the bat well.
Also shows you that man was working sometimes not going to sit around and watch this much longer. Shaking up that lineup.
Can't sit back and stay stagnant. You got to make things happen. You have to salvage this one win in this ball. It's very hard on the Twins. Last time they did that in Cleveland, a 3-game series, you got to go back to 1991. June of 91 last time the Twins swept the series in 3 games. Not even in this ballpark.
Indians just trying to get the offense going again. They had that massive outburst a week ago at Yankee Stadium. They scored 22 runs in their 6 games since, averaging 3 runs per ball game. We all know in the American League, you have to average at least 4. You really have a legitimate shot to win.
How good your pitching is. Last year, our starting pitching was as good as any the first 2 months of the season. You remember? We couldn't win.
Tough to win.
We always shut it. Consistently, you're not going to do it. I don't care where you are.
Cabrera draws a walk. That's a dozen full passes for Cabrera this year. And it shows you how he is slowly maturing as a hitter, but able to identify good pitches in the second.
First walk of the series for Twins pitching. That's something that Minnesota, for the first time this year, on Friday night, did not walk a batter for the first time. Second time they didn't last night. So here you go in the first inning. You've already got a base on ball.
Indians started the day 4th in the American League in on-base percentage. The walk has been a big part of it for the Tribes. 2 aboard for their
much easier to play this game when you're in front.
They've been behind before they come back. To throw to first to complete the job, and he does. He will strike first with a 2-out RBI.
If he's healthy and solid every day, third baseman with some pop in his bat, because he has hit 30 home runs before for the White Sox.
Now the 3.
Right, that's exactly right. I mean, where you can put a guy out there every day and just leave him, let him play.
Stay healthy and do that for the Twins this year. Pavano pitched for the Indians last night, visibly upset in the dugout after he left the clubhouse afterwards. Pitched hit for center. Thinking back on it, that's what happened to him. A couple of those balls hurt him
after, coming off his last start. It's his first start at home.
for 13 skid in this series. Since then, he's gone 3 for 7.
Had a couple at bats last night. Fouled off. He pitch it back. Turned it into a tough out. Sometimes as a hitter, too, when you get up there, you have an at bat like that. He gets you back in.
Walks on 4 straight years. Now free pass brings up Delman Young. It's BOGO time at Alvin's Jewelers now from Mother's Day. Alvin, buy one, get one free. Support Family Jewelers. Visit Alvin's Jewelers. Delman Young steps in 3 out of 8 in the series. He had 3 of those hits last night. 3 for his first 3, all solid singles to left field. This is inside for ball 1.
They have a rotation at the outfield with 4 guys. Today, Denard Span is the guy that's going to get the day off because of the left-handed pitching. Lopez, of course, right-hander. He missed the first 2 games. They've got 4 pretty good outfielders. He may be trying to do more than he's capable of doing. You know what? Maybe it is. He had that home run party in New York. Everyone's hitting on it. Maybe it could be. The home runs from Johnny and Friday got basically come from the byproduct of putting up a great hit. A lot of his home runs have come from the first inning. He sent 375 over.
The reason I brought up the fact that he was hitting 237 last year, he's off to a slow start this year. He hit 230 in May last year. And still rebounded to have a very healthy offensive season. So while it's been frustrating for him, it's a little frustrating for fans to watch at times. It's just important to remember that there's still a lot of season left. Second strikeout for Perkins. Down here in texture answer 31962. Results coming up later in the game. Here is his last 8 games of ball. To the third inning here at Progressive Field. Jose Morales, Nick Punto, and Carlos Gomez to face Aaron Laffey. Casey, Austin, T-Shell, and Nana say go Indians, go Tribe. Well, they've got a 1-0 lead. Morales 2 for 4 Friday night steps in. Switch hitting catcher for the Twins. Had to bunt his way on, but
well, again, you know, foul. We mentioned yesterday that the right-handed or the switch hitters for the Minnesota Twins are all doing better from the left side of the plate. And for Morales, he's only played one game actually from this side of the plate. He's 0 for 4. Well, he tried to get that first hit with a bunt.
Going to go foul. Ron Gardenhire said that they've known Morales can hit, but it's the defense that is a work in progress with him as the backup catcher. They're expecting him to get Joe Mauer back soon, and that certainly will make a world of difference. Not only
they won't
for
keep 3 catchers, then I wouldn't think.
No, I wouldn't think so either. But that makes a world of difference for the Twins, not only offensively, but certainly a comfort level for their pitching staff as well. So a leadoff single for Morales here in the third. First hit of the day for Minnesota.
First hit of the day coming on an 0-2 pitch from Aaron Laffey. He was aggressive going at him, but watch, just didn't get it quite in there enough. Wasn't that bad of a pitch. He just put a short swing on it.
Morales, another guy who was originally an infielder, who went from shortstop to second base to behind the plate. And one of the reasons Morales was moved is he doesn't have much speed. So you wouldn't expect him to look for a stolen base here, but as we have seen in the past, Gardenhire not afraid to start runners. And Punto's pretty good at making contact with a sinker ball pitcher
who already has 1 ground ball double play today.
He might start the runner just to see if he can either punch one through the hole on the right side or just to stay out of the double play.
Well, he'll do that maybe if the count dictates.
The 1-1.
There you go.
On the ground to short.
This
6,
guy is
4,
amazing.
3. Another double play.
That's 2 straight innings now. How about that?
He had 5 straight double plays in 5 consecutive innings the last time he started for the Indians.
I mean, this is becoming a common occurrence. Think about it. I mean, in his 2 starts here, he has induced 7 ground ball double plays. That's unbelievable. You get a guy on base and you make 1 pitch and get 2 outs. That's a beautiful thing.
Now Carlos Gomez flied to center his first time up. There have been 3 fly ball outs in this game. Gomez, Justin Morneau, and Joe Creedy. Swung on and missed. Two balls and a strike. Just foul past third. Mark DeRosa, or excuse me, Tony Graffinino makes the play and throws out Gomez. So the double play ball helps Aaron Laffey work through the third. Indians stay in front 1-0. lead as we go to the bottom of the third here. Trevor Crow to lead it off for the Tribe. Then Grady Sizemore and Asdrubal Cabrera. And Perkins, left-hander for Minnesota, allowed a leadoff single to Sizemore in the first. And then Grady came around to score on a 2-out RBI double by Shin-Soo Choo. Trevor Crow low bridged the left-handed starter for Minnesota. That was a scorching liner right back through the box.
Let's take a look at the swing. He got a pitch right down the middle, and that's the way to do it. You just hit it right over the head of the pitcher. We hit it right where it came from. Third hit now for the Indians.
It maybe didn't look that close on the replay, but I guarantee you if you're Glenn Perkins, it made your heart skip a beat. Now Grady Sizemore, who had a base hit his first time up. Ties him up inside. Up high to even the count. Sizemore leads the Indians, and he's ranked among the top 10 all over the board offensively. Tied for 5th in the AL and runs batted in with 18. Now has 16 runs scored. He's among the top 10 in that category. 9th in total bases, 6th in walks.
Trevor might have been able to make it. That throw from the catcher, Morales, went off the glove of Perkins. And at second base, Harris didn't really see it. And I'm thinking Trevor got off. And
if he'd have just taken off,
if he would have just kept running, I'll bet he could have made it to second base. And I think he realized that after. I mean, the throwback goes and it deflects off, but the key here is Harris wasn't watching at second. Now watch, Trevor sees it. Now he goes. If he would have kept running, he would have made it because Harris had his head down and he didn't realize it until it was too late. But Perkins said something to him out there.
3 balls and a strike. It's one of those things, they always tell you never assume. You just take for granted the throw back to the pitcher's mouth.
Yeah. Well, you always take a look and make sure it's in his glove before you put your head down.
Good count here for Grady. 3-1 pitch. Fouled back. Got a fastball. Couldn't quite square it up.
Well, here's where you'll see if Eric Wedge wants to stay aggressive on a 3-2 count with Crow, who has good speed. But Grady does strike out a lot. That's the one thing. And you could have a strike him out, throw him out, because of the left-hander. Perkins has a decent move to first base, so Crow may not get a good jump.
There he goes. Pitch popped up. He's going to have to retreat in a hurry. Back to the screen. Morales makes the catch.
Okay, so he did start the runner. He stayed aggressive and well, make someone's next birthday one to remember and celebrate with Slider here at Progressive Field. Slider birthday parties for groups of 10 or more. They include ticket discounts, an exclusive pregame meet and greet with Slider, and much more. 216-420-HITS, the number to call for that information.
That'll bring up Asdrubal Cabrera. Drew a walk his first time to the plate. Slashes it foul.
Nice pick by a fan over there with a glove. Nice. High fives all the way around.
As we saw last night, good idea to, if you have a glove, to go for those. If you don't have a glove, not such a good idea.
Hide.
0-1 pitch. Missed up high. Trevor Crow trying to get a read on Perkins. Looks like he's itching to go.
Well, he is itching to go, but he does have a nice slide step, so he's quick to home plate, and he's going to give his catcher. That time he picked it up, and Trevor's off and running, and there you go.
So he's got his stolen base. Runner in scoring position with 1 out now.
That's one of the times where he didn't use the slide step, and he did pick the right time to go. He went up, and it was a good pitch to throw on. It might have been a hit and run because Cabrera swung at a ball out of the strike zone. So I think that's what it was, a hit and run. Crow beats the throw, slides in, and will get his first stolen base.
Now Cabrera down on the count, of ball and 2 strikes. Back out of play. Indians lead it 1-0. Trying to push the game a little bit here in the 3rd. Cabrera with a hit in 9 of his last 12 games, batting .421 over that span. He is 3 for 6 in this series. And he looks at that ball down and in. The 2-2. Up the middle into center field, a base hit. Here comes Crow around third. He'll score standing. And as Drupal Cabrera delivers the RBI single to make it a 2-0 Indians lead. For Cabrera, that's his 9th run batted in on the year. And a nice piece of hitting, especially once he was down on the count.
Sure was. He put a nice short stroke on the ball. Didn't try and do too much with it, and lines it right back up the middle. Well, Cabrera, a better hitter from the right side of the plate, gets his very first RBI from this side of the plate. Watch. Nice and short. Right back up the middle. So both the hits on Crow and Cabrera right back up the middle, staying on the baseball. The Indians will take a 2-0 lead.
It'll bring up Victor Martinez, who hit into a double play his first time up. Takes that one back foul. Yeah, look at Cabrera, red hot with runners in scoring position to start the year.
That's why he's in the number 2 hole. Get him more at bats. He's swinging the bat well.
Victor shooting for the hole. Diving effort by Harris, but he comes up empty. And now Cabrera going for third. The throw not in time.
I like it a lot. He was aggressive there.
Indians taking a page from the Twins book. Start the runner, punch it through the other side, and then let him go.
Well, the ball wasn't hit that hard, so that's why you can go ahead and make that decision. If it was hit on a line, I mean, you can make your own call, but you see 2, 3, 4, 5 hopper through the infield. You should be able to get to third base. But Cabrera goes in there, goes head first, even though Kadire has a good throwing arm. You go first to third, and there's still just one out, so good hustle.
And now Shin-Soo Choo, who had that big 2-out RBI double his first time up.
And also, this is where an early lead helps you. You can get more aggressive early and not have to play defensively on the offensive side of the baseball.
Choo has now hit in 5 straight games. Martinez, with that single, has extended his hitting streak to 6 straight. But Choo, like Cabrera, has done a good job of having a discerning eye at the plate. He has 11 walks already this year. And now he's in a 3-0 count. Cabrera walked his first time up. He's got a dozen. He and Choo started the day tied for 11th in the league in walks. And he walked him right here. So Choo's got a dozen free passes, and the bases are loaded with 1 out for Ryan Garko, and that's going to bring out Twins pitching coach Rick Anderson. And he's a guy who preaches strike one all the time. So he's got to be a little concerned after his pitchers didn't walk a batter in the first 2 games of the series, and now Perkins has walked a pair in the first 2 1/3. Senior PGA Championship Challenge keyword of the day is Haas. If you would like the chance to win tickets to the Senior PGA along with autographed flags from previous champs, log on to STOHD.com. Click on the contest banner, top of the page. Fill out the entry form with the keyword Haas, H-A-A-S. 20 winners will be selected, so enter today. Glenn Perkins, so far this year, according to Tommy Bowe, has been better when runners have been on base. The opponent's batting just $185 with runners on base against him. But the Indians have gone 3 for 6.
Yeah, today they're starting to do a little bit of damage here.
And now Ryan Garko, with the bags juiced, steps in, struck out his first time up. A strike at the knees. Ryan has started the year just 1 for 6 against left-handed pitching. He's looking for a big knock right here to open it up. Down low to even it up, ball and a strike.
Well, if you remember, Garko last year tied with Grady Sizemore for 90 RBIs with the team lead. And people thought he had an off year. You know, so if you have an off year and you're driving in 90, that's pretty good thing. And he's been pretty much the odd man out in this lineup with the way Eric has been using him. But here's a guy that, you know, to me is a very good RBI man. And in a situation, and here's a great situation for him in that number 5 hole today, bases loaded, and he can really increase the lead.
Well, the way he's been used so far, and again, a lot of things can change, but I was just thinking out loud here, about 300 bats is what he's on par for.
Yeah, he's going to get more than that.
The 1-2 in the dirt. Evens it up.
To me, Ryan is one of those hitters with 2 strikes. He gets tough. He never gives in. Perkins tried to get him to swing at his pitch that time, and Garko just spit on it.
And there's a line drive toward left field. This is going to drop for a base hit. That's going to get 1 home. Here comes Victor Martinez. And the Indians will score a pair on the 2-run single by Ryan Garko to make it a 4-0 Indians lead.
That's beautiful. Good at bat by Ryan.
Martinez got a really good read on that fly ball, and so he was pretty much right on the heels of his Drupal Cabrera coming around third base.
Well, and it was a good at bat because it looked like he double clutched. He waited on that ball, and he's thinking the other way. Watch the double clutch. Go? No. Now he went out there. It must have been a changeup for him to, you know, hesitate like that and still be able to get it out to left center field. And you're right. Martinez had a great jump. Good job of hitting by Garko. It's now a 4-zip ball game.
Now Johnny Peralta struck out his first time up. First runs surrendered by Glenn Perkins in the 3rd inning this year. In fact, he's given up runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 8th. 3rd through 7th, he's been flawless so far this year, but not today. Indians have got 3 here in the 3rd to take a 4-0 advantage. 1 ball, 1 strike. Activity in the Twins bullpen. Perkins already at 57 pitches, and as we said, this is a guy who's pitched 8 innings in each of his first 3 starts this year. Johnny Peralta trying to keep the pressure on. Now back 1-2 the count. And the 1-2 pitch. He went too far and he strikes him out. 2 down here in the inning for Mark DeRosa. Check out our Subway fresh face of the game, Chuck Lofgren, left-hander down at AA Akron, continuing his role. 6 no-hit innings his last start against Altoona, got the win, and a 1.13 ERA and 3 starts on the year. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. And a called strike to DeRosa. I'll tell you who's enjoying this inning so far, and that's Catherine Haybraken. She's watching the game with her grandson, Kit Madison, in Kent, Ohio. Just celebrated her 102nd birthday.
Wow, congratulations. I was going to say, he's enjoying it. I was going to say, yeah, Aaron laughing.
Yeah, I think he's enjoying it, too.
But congratulations. 102 years old. Good for her.
The Indians with a 4-0 lead. And looking for some 2-out magic from DeRosa, who has 1 hit in his last 17 at-bats. Taps it foul. Two on, 2 out. 3 runs in for the Indians here in the 3rd. And the 1-2 pitch is just a little bit inside. Looked like Perkins wanted that one. Didn't get the call. And when things go badly for a pitcher, the borderline pitches tend to go the other way.
Well, this is over a 30-pitch inning for Perkins, so he has struggled.
2-2.
Yes, he did.
He went too far, and the inning is over. But the Indians get a 3 spot. And through 3 innings of play, they now lead the Twins 4-0. Here at Progressive Field, where the Indians lead the Minnesota Twins now by a score of 4-0. And as we go to the top of the 4th inning, Aaron Laffey will face Brendan Harris, Justin Morneau, and Jason Kubel. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning here at the ballpark. Happy to be joined now by Bill Klein from the FCC. And big date coming up here, June 12th.
That's right.
That's when everybody's got to switch over. If you haven't already switched over to a digital receiver, you need one of these boxes. If you're still watching us with the old rabbit ears or off the antenna, Bill, why do we need one of these now?
Well, that's the deal. You're broadcasting in HD, right?
Right on.
That is correct.
And all they need to do is put in a rabbit ear with the VHF, UHF antenna, hook it right here where it says antenna, and then from there right to the TV. And they shouldn't wait. They should do it right now because they can get more, they get a better picture, better sound, and more channels.
Ground ball to short. Johnny Peralta makes a nice play to take care of Harris.
This all has to be done by June 12th. Is that correct? Is it?
That's right.
If they don't do it by then, what happens?
They're not going to get any TV.
Okay, right. You turn it on, you get nothing but snow.
That's exactly right. Okay. Today, the Governor Strickland actually made this week, through a proclamation, DTV Take Action Week. And so we have a number of things going on throughout the state this week, in Dayton, as well as here in Cleveland and in Toledo.
And it was surprising to Rick and I, we read somewhere that there are still a lot of people who don't have cable or satellite, and they're still watching TV the old-fashioned way, right over the antenna.
Well, that's exactly right. And you know, last week we had we have a call center that takes calls from consumers. Out of the 4,000 calls that we got, over 2,000 are still asking about coupons.
No kidding.
Apply for the coupon. Go to dtv.gov and get your coupon now. It takes about a week to get
$40, right?
They'll give you two $40 coupons,
right?
And then you can go to the store, and it costs you like $10, and you've got it.
Yeah.
So that's about what this unit costs, between $40 and $70.
Yeah, I've done a lot of market surveys. It costs anywhere from $40 to $49.
Okay.
And so with tax and all, you're paying $10. You hook up your antenna, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, and it cleans up airspace for other lines and things like that, doesn't it?
Well, you know, the real benefit of this is that nationally, all the television spectrum that's been in place since the 40s will all be free for first responders. So if you've had snow emergencies where Pittsburgh couldn't talk to Cleveland or what have you.
Well, they don't talk anyway, but that's beside the point.
Well, that's pretty good. The thing is, it clears up all that spectrum for fire, safety, health, and first responders, so they can actually communicate on the same airways without having regional communication networks.
Very simple, very simply done, very simple to order.
You know, if you go on to dtv.gov, it is a huge resource. You can actually put in your zip code, and it'll tell you what stations are broadcasting in HD and analog.
Right.
It will tell you the strength of the signal that you should receive. It's just that easy.
Let me ask you this, Bill.
Yes.
Let's say I'm a guy watching right now. I'm nervous. I'm thinking, I got to rush to the store right now. I get it. I buy this thing. Can I then still send in for my coupon and get rebated that way?
No,
or do I
you
need
can't.
the coupon first?
You got to get that coupon first. You really have to get. And right now, though, if you go to dtv.gov and you apply for your coupon, you're actually going to get it in a week to 10 days because they're sending it in first class air. And so you'll have it, take it to the store, buy the coupon, and hook it up now. What we found with the first series of people that went back in February and again here a week ago, like in Steubenville, that went April 16th, people waited until the day of the conversion to hook up their converter boxes.
Right.
Don't do it. Do it now because you get more channels, a better picture, and better sound.
And you got playoffs. The Cavs are in the playoffs.
That's
the Indians
right.
are playing all the time. Let's go. You get a much better picture, and you want to see all the action.
Well, and everything that's in HD, if you have an old television, you don't have to convert with this box. With this box here, you get all of the channels that are being multicasted. Most stations are doing 2 to 3 more stations for each station, so you get them all.
Yeah, and they make it very simple for you. It's very easy, very simple.
You know, I found it was fascinating that the first cable television system was started the last year the Indians won the World Series.
1948.
That's how long cable TV has been around.
Wow.
I thought cable TV was a thing of the 1970s on.
Right.
And yet I come to find out it's actually been around a lot longer than I had any idea.
Well, what I've seen in a lot of places, I was down in southeast Ohio, down in by MacArthur and Marietta and places like that.
Single for Joe Creedy into center field. So 2 on, 2 out for Minnesota. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning. We're with Bill Klein from the FCC talking about the conversion over to digital television. And if you don't have one of these boxes, and you're watching on the antennas, you need one of these boxes by June 12th.
Got to do it. And do it now. Don't wait to June 12th. Do it now.
Yeah, why not? Well, before you know it, June 12th is going to be here, man, because we're out, rounding out of April.
And one more time, the website, you log on to get your coupon. It's
dtv.gov. And not only your coupon, but put in your zip code. It'll tell you all the activities that are going on in your area. It will tell you all the signals you're supposed to get from all the stations.
Now, let's say someone out there, like my partner here, is watching, and they have no idea what the internet is. How can they?
Then you can call our direct number. You're exactly. You can call 888-CALL-FCC, and they'll send you the information to get it.
There you go.
In the mail.
Now, can we Twitter to get this thing on there? So if you're my partner, I mean, can we Twitter and find out what's going on?
I don't even know what a Twitter is.
Well, you're looking at him. He's right there.
Oh, boy. Well, Bill, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. I know you live in Washington, so you're a fan of the Nationals.
I am a fan of the Nationals, and
good luck.
I've got a 20-game plan. My wife has a 13-Sunday game plan for the Orioles, so we do about 30 games a year.
Well, that's good. So you're a diehard baseball fan. We're not going to play Washington, but we are going to come out and play Baltimore, so stop out and see us.
I'll do that, and as a matter of fact, I really love the stadium. It really is as nice as I heard it was.
Well, that's good. Then you picked a beautiful day to come out.
Fabulous. Thank you.
So far, 4-0 lead.
I appreciate it very much.
Right, you got it, Bill. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. That's Bill Klein from the FCC. And so once again, log on to www.dtv.gov or call. What was the number again? Call FCC. 1-800-CALL-FCC. And you can get the information on how to get the coupon, get your converter box, and you won't miss a pitch. Ground ball to third. Graffinino goes to second for the inning-ending force. And Aaron Laffey has blanked the Twins through 4, and the Indians lead it 4-0. Going to the bottom of the fourth here at Progressive Field. Folks heading to the wing stand for a little mid-game snack. Tony Graffinino, who assisted on the inning-ending force out for Minnesota, will lead it off here. Grounded out to second, his first and only time up today. Pops this one high in the air, shallow right. In comes Kadire. One down. Let's go back right now to the studios. Time for a Ford Sports Update. Dave, Brown's still picking. More guys in the organization now? All right. Well, USC has 4 linebackers, and I think they've all been drafted. All 4 of those linebackers from that unit have been drafted.
They have a talented team
that
over
is
there. Offense, defense, it doesn't matter.
What a program. Crow trying to punch one in the alley. But Gomez has great speed and runs it down. 2 away. Time now to check out our All Care Dental and Dentures Smiling Easy Cam. Lots of smiles today. The weather has been beautiful. Kids are enjoying a day in which they got the Johnny Peralta wristbands and headband at the gate. With 17 locations across northeastern Ohio, All Care Dental and Dentures makes seeing the dentist easy. 2 down, bases empty now for Grady Sizemore. Grady singled and scored in the first. Fouled out his last time up. 70th pitch of the game for Glenn Perkins. He faced 8 Indians hitters in the third, and Minnesota had their bullpen busy. But Perkins got out of it by striking out the last 2 hitters, not allowing any further damage. Perkins, a local guy, born in St. Paul, Minnesota. Played baseball at the University of Minnesota in college. Twins made him a #1 pick in 2004. Made his major league debut in 2006, pitching out of the bullpen briefly. And again in 2007. He worked out of the bullpen in 19 games. And last year, Minnesota put him in the rotation, and man, did it pay off. He went 12-4. Started 26 games.
Well, now you see if these guys can duplicate it. And, getting a look at the first 2 games of this series with Blackburn and then Kevin Slowey in the first 2 games, who were rookies last year, they're pretty good.
Brady drives one deep to right. Back goes Kadire and makes the catch over the shoulder style. And the Indians go 1-2-3. 4 in the books, 4-0 Cleveland. Is brought to you in part by Subway. Play hard, eat fresh. By AM PM, too much good stuff. And by Alltel Wireless. Choose who you call for free with My Circle. Any number, any network. For Zip, Tribe on top, go to the 5th inning here on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon in downtown Cleveland. Nice crowd on hand for Kids Fun Day. Bottom third of the Twins order due up against Aaron Laffey. He's allowed 2 hits through 4 innings.
Well, and he has induced 2 ground ball double plays. 1 in the second, 1 in the third.
Gives him a total of 7 over his last 2 starts. Up high to Delman Young, who hit into that inning-ending double play in the second inning. 60 pitches for Laffey thus far. 8 ground ball outs. Make it 9 perhaps. Peralta does indeed take care of Young, 1 away.
Well, bring your Pepsi cans to any Indians team shop or the Progressive Field box office and receive half-off tickets to April and May home games. This offer includes bleachers, mezzanine, and upper box seats. And look for specially marked Pepsi cans at a store near you.
Here is Jose Morales, base hit his first time up. In the air, center field. Grady Sizemore racing back, and it's over his head. Morales has some surprising pop. He got into that ball and drove it over the head of Grady Sizemore, which is not an easy thing to do. He's 2 for 2 today.
Yeah, that ball jumped off his
Remember
bat.
Friday he went opposite field off the
I
wall
do.
and left.
And I was watching Grady get after this ball, and he was surprised how well it carried. Well, there's a mistake. That's the second time he got a base hit. It was almost a identical spot where that pitch was from his first at-bat, but he drove this one. So a 1-out double.
And to bring up Nick Punto. Bounced into a double play his first time up. Looks at a ball inside. There's a strike called, evens it up 1-1. (16 2/3 innings on the year now for Aaron Laffey. Bouncer up the gut. Peralta cuts it off, throws him out. 2 down. Morales over to third. Another look at the Alltel text poll question. Opinion poll today. Text your answer to 31962. We'll have the results coming up later on. Indians have seen the offense swing the bats better today. The starting pitching has been outstanding. Defensively, they've tightened it up since a first inning error by Johnny Peralta. In fact, Peralta has assisted on 5 outs since that error, including 2 double plays.
Well, you know, you're going to get action if you're an infielder with Laffey pitching. He's been like that in his 3 starts. He's come out. He makes the infielders work, man. He's a sinker baller. Not many left-handed sinker ball pitchers, but Laffey is. I mean, that's something that you want to see him learn this year is stay aggressive and make guys hit the ball and put it in play, and try and do it in 3 pitches or less. I mean, and he's done that. I think the light's starting to go off because the last 2 springs he's been out there battling for the number 5 spot in the rotation, and each year he's failed. This year, with the injury to Scott Lewis early, you know, now he comes right up and he's stepped right in. So if he has a mission, it's to show Eric Wedge and Carl Willis, I belong up here, man. So now prove it. You got to pitch, and he's been doing a great job.
Down low, 3-1 to count.
You know, when you look at it, half the batters today, 9 of the 18 batters that he has faced have been 3 pitches or less. So that, to me, says I get it.
That is trusting your stuff, as they say.
Yeah, however you want to say it or look at it, but that's what Aaron Laffey has to do if he wants to be successful at the big league level.
3-1, missed outside, so he loses Gomez. And 2 on, 2 out now for Brendan Harris, who is 0 for 2. Harris has hit the ball twice on the ground to Johnny Peralta today. So if you're the Indians shortstop, you're on your toes right now. The runner at third is Jose Morales. Now Gomez, who runs well, has 2 steals, down at first. Ground ball, this time to third. Graffinino goes to second for the inning-ending force. And on one pitch, Aaron Laffey gets out of it, and he has blanked the Twins through 5. Aggressive field, 4-zip in favor of the Tribe. Not much action on the concourse. Folks are in their seats, enjoying a well-pitched game by Aaron Laffey, who has blanked Minnesota through 5 innings. One of the bottom of the 5th here. It'll be Asdrubal Cabrera, Victor Martinez, and Shin-Soo Choo against Glenn Perkins. Pitch down and in, ball 1. At the knees for a strike. With the Indians already leading 1-0 in the 3rd, it was Cabrera who delivered a 1-out RBI single to center that plated Trevor Crowe and opened the gates for a 3-run 3rd inning. Now he drives one down the right side. Kadire trying to cut it off. He does. Cabrera digging for 2, and he's going to go in there easily with a leadoff double. And he has been on base safely all 3 times here today.
Well, he's had very good at-bats today. He's swinging it very well from the right side of the plate. He goes down and stays on this baseball. And now's the time you go ahead and try for 2. You're aggressive. Look at him, just shooting it the other way. Watch his head. He looks right down. He's right on the baseball. Picture perfect swing, and now you go for 2. You make him throw you out. You're up 4-0. It's a perfect time to try, and he gets in easily with a double. So good job by Cabrera. Double number 5.
Now here's Victor Martinez, who punched a little 15 hopper through the right side his last time up.
This is add-on time. You're at the point of the game where you get the leadoff double. You want to get him over and get him in the way you've been playing. Offensively, you still want to execute. This is the time of the game that takes teams out of the ball game when you're ahead early.
So if you're Martinez, it's another case where you're again looking to go the right side of the infield.
Other way, absolutely. I mean, this is the little things. This is things that when you do this consistently and over the course of a year, doesn't matter whether you're hitting third or you're hitting seventh or you're hitting ninth, when your job comes up, your job is to get him over and let the next guy trust that the next guy will get him in.
1-1 the count. Our Firestone League leaders when the day began. Martinez was third behind Kevin Youkilis and Carlos Beltran of the Mets. This is for the major league lead in batting average. And Victor 1 for 2 already today. So he's up to 408.
All right, he took a shot.
Now down on the count 1-2.
See, he's asking if it was a strike or not, but he felt it was a pitch he could handle to go that way. He wants to know if it was in the zone in case there's another one up there. But Perkins has been trying to get the right-handers to swing at that little slider down and in for a ball when he's up in a 1-2 count over the top, and that would be a good pitch in this situation.
Right-handed hitters swinging the bat better today. 5 for 14 against Perkins.
See if he comes down and in with that slider. Yeah.
Right-handed hitters were 4 for 33 in the first 2 games of the series. So with the left-hander on the hill, they have had much better success so far today. Now the count back to even for Victor Martinez. 82 pitches under the belt of Glenn Perkins. Up high, full count. Left-handed hitting Shin-Soo Choo waits on deck. But as hot as Martinez has been, if you're Perkins, do you make him swing at your pitch here?
Well, why not? I think he's going to come back with the changeup to try and get him to pull it on the ground where they can't get that runner over.
The payoff.
Breaking ball.
Popped in the air. Right side. Tough play. No one can reach it. I mean, any pitcher wants you to get them to swing at their pitch. My point was, if you're Perkins facing a guy as hot as Martinez is, you're not going to throw him necessarily even a strike here. If you lose him, so what? First base is open. Make him go out of the strike zone.
Well, he would love to have him do that, you know. And if you do happen to walk him, then he's got to really bear down and try and get a double play ball next. You don't necessarily want to walk him. You want to get him out, and hopefully you can get him out on a ground ball to the left side where his job is not going to, get him over to third base. But if you walk him, then you got to really bear down.
Again, the 3-2. Martinez fights it off. There is Shin-Soo Choo waiting on deck, batting cleanup today. He's already driven in a run with an extra base hit. One more time, the 3-2. Floater towards shallow center. Coming hard is Gomez, and he'll make the catch. Tomorrow night at 11 on Channel 3 News, the investigator Tom Meyer exposes local men behind the hottest new con job to hit our neighborhoods. Learn what they're up to and how to avoid being sucked into their scam. Tomorrow night at 11 on Channel 3 News. 4-zip, Tribe on top, runner at second, one down. And here is Shin-Soo Choo. He had an RBI double with 2 outs in the first that started the scoring today. He drew a walk in the third. It's this high in the air, but not deep enough. Kadire will make the catch. Cabrera will tag, and he'll go to third, but now 2 are out.
But do you see how big that is? Where Perkins held himself, his composure. He was able to get Martinez out where he couldn't get the job done. Choo comes up, hits a fly ball. That's another run if you can move the runner. Now it's going to take a 2-out base hit.
Ryan Garco had a 2-run single his last time up, but that was with 1 out.
Well, and I think that's what Morales wants to talk here. You've got Peralta up next, who struck out twice. Let's not give in to Garco. We'll go at him with some stuff and see if he swings at your pitch. If not, let's go after the guy we've had some success against.
Now the pitch to Ryan Garko is up high for ball one. Cabrera, meanwhile, heads up two, looking for a wild pitch or a ball in the dirt here. Swung on and missed. Garko looked like Ryan really winding up for.
You know what happened? He wanted to take a swing at it. You know, that wasn't a strike. I don't think it should have been up and out of the zone. Yeah, that's ball two, but he sees one in his eyes. He wanted to take a free shot, which I don't have a problem with. If you're looking for that pitch, get after it.
2-1.
But now you after you take a swing and a cut like that, you step out, you reprogram and say, okay, let's go. Look for a pitch I can handle. If I don't get it, take your walk.
And he probably can see the pattern here that they're not going to throw him anything he can handle.
Well, you have to be ready.
Knocked back out of play, 2-2.
Because as you know, a lot of times pitchers,
they miss.
Yeah, they miss their locations, and there's a pretty good chance that you always have to be ready for it. The minute you start thinking, okay, he's not going to hit a spot, boom, there goes one right down the middle. You're going, what am I thinking for?
The 2-2 pitch. Garko grounds it to short.
He got a better pitch than I thought he was going to get.
Pinto takes care of it. Inning over. Leadoff double does no damage. 5 in the books. Cleveland 4, Minnesota nothing. In the books. We go into the 6th part of the order from Minnesota coming up. Aaron Laffey has set him down so far, and the kids are loving it with their new wristbands and headbands.
Yeah, that's a great look. The Peralta wristbands and headband. The blue headband, the red wristband, so you're matching up.
Morneau gets after the first pitch, but way out in front of it. 17 1/3 innings so far in the year for Aaron Laffey, and he's allowed 3 earned runs. Ball hit pretty well deep to left. Crow back and right in front of the wall makes the catch. Time now for our direct energy bringing the gas sequence. The only punch out of the day for Aaron Laffey came in the 4th against Jason Kubel.
Well, a guy that's been on fire, has been swinging the bat very well. The left-hander Kubel, he starts him off with a strike, then throws him the breaking ball and he misses low. Another one, he will get in the strike zone, and then puts him away and gets him to chase his pitch.
Direct Energy offers simple solutions for your natural gas supply needs. Fastball strike to the outside corner. Kubo has really been tearing it up in this series. 4 for 8, 3 homers. He came in today with a hit in 6 of his last 7 games, including 9 extra base hits.
Well, he's swinging the bat as well as I've ever seen him before.
This is in the air to center. There's Grady Sizemore, 2 away. Let's go back to the studios right now for a Ford Sports Update. Here's Dave Chudowski. All right, thanks, Dave. Here it remains 4-0 in favor of the Indians. 2 down for Joe Creedy, a base hit his last time up. Detroit, meanwhile, leading Kansas City in the 3rd inning at Kauffman Stadium. White Sox, Tigers, Royals all started the day tied for first in the Central Division at 9-8. Twins a half game back, 9-9. Indians bringing up the rear, but only 3.5 off the pace. Cabrera with a fine stop, hard thrown, got him. Aaron Laffey sets the Twins down 1-2-3 for the first time today. We head to the bottom of the 6th for Zip Indians. And a reminder that the Mega Millions jackpot on Tuesday is up to $181 million.
Whoa, 181.
All I need from you is 6 numbers.
I will give them to you, Mr. My friend Kreskin.
Get your ticket today. He won't give them to me.
The amazing Kreskin will give you 6 numbers after this game today.
Johnny Peralta 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts facing Matt Guerrier, who comes out of the Minnesota bullpen, the Shaker Heights native. Pitching for the 8th time this year.
Well, the Indians able to stop that string of 8 innings for Glenn Perkins, the starter, in his first 3 starts. They took care of that early, scoring in the 1st and 3 in the 3rd.
outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. High pop. Should be playable here. Morneau, the first baseman, makes the grab. 1 away.
Well, if you're looking for a unique place to hold your special occasion, check out a Cleveland Indians suite. That's perfect for entertaining clients, rewarding employees, or hosting a family celebration. Your group will experience premium service, food, and beverages while enjoying the game. 216-420-HITS if you would like more details on the suites.
Guerrero facing Mark DeRosa, and the first pitch, a swing and a miss for strike 1. Guerrero has a good fastball. He can sink it, slider, and a very good curveball. The 1-1 pitch, broke foul. Guerrero's had an interesting path to where he is right now, in that he was originally drafted by the White Sox out of Kent State back in 1999, a 10th round pick. And then in 2002, he went to the Pirates in the Damaso Marte trade. And then the Pirates gave up on him, and in 2003, the Twins claimed him off waivers. And it's been a great fit for Minnesota and Matt Guerrero. He's been almost exclusively a bullpen guy for Minnesota. He has made exactly 3 starts in the big leagues. The 3-2. Again, ground and foul. Mark DeRosa has bounced out to third. He has struck out. Trying to get it rolling. He had that big series in the Big Apple, and it looked like he was really turned around offensively. Draws the 2-out walk here. Excuse me, a 1-out walk here, and the batter will be Tony Graffinino, who is 0 for 2. Had him leaning a little bit.
Well, I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if Eric put something on right here with Graffinino, who can handle the bat, and it looked like DeRosa did take a step towards second, so they may take it off now.
Pitch out, nothing going. It goes off the glove of Morales, but DeRosa was on a holding pattern.
Well, this happened yesterday where the Twins did the same thing. Eric Wedge pitched out on him on the first pitch. Nothing was on, but they started the runner the very next pitch. See if Eric does it. You know, you're not going to pitch out twice in a row.
There it goes. Swung out and missed.
You got to put the ball in play if you're the hitter.
They got him.
You got to find a way to put it in play.
2 down.
You know, that's the thing. As a manager, you love to try and make things happen, but you have to have hitters that can put the ball in play, and it seems like so many of these Indian hitters swing through pitches. A hit and run, you got to shorten your swing. You've got to put the ball in play. I don't care if it's on the ground, if it's at your toes or at your nose. You got to find a way to just put it in play.
Puts this one in play, but right at punto, inning over. 6 complete from Progressive Field. It remains Cleveland 4, Minnesota nothing. Enjoy pizza wings or a famous Panini's overstuffed sandwich on their beautiful patios. Panini's, the best food and outdoor dining in town. Visit paninisgrill.com. Aaron Laffey has pitched 6 innings today. He's had 2 ground ball double plays to end innings. He's only had one 1-2-3 inning, and that was in the 6th. But he's only allowed 3 hits, 2 singles and a double. He has walked a pair, make that 3. He's walked 3, and he's had 1 error behind him. So he has done a very good job here today. And Kadire goes after the first pitch, and it looks like the Twins are taking an aggressive approach, which, you know, we've seen with the Indians. It sometimes it's in the eye of the beholder. If you're making easy outs, then the manager or the hitting coach get frustrated.
Well, what Laffey's proving is he's getting ahead in the count and throwing strikes. He had an 8-pitch inning. And the deeper you go into the ball game, hitters are saying, okay, he's in the strike zone, let's get after him early. And that is a benefit to him, getting ahead of the hitters that first time around, or the first 2 times, making him hit his pitch. Now you got to take one. So that's what I like about Aaron Laffey. He's going to get it. He's got 16 first pitch strikes. When you do that, you're telling the hitters, I'm going to come at you. Now, if you want to swing, go right ahead. But they're quality strikes. They're not, you know, just get me in fastballs.
Victor Martinez looked like he may have been hit on the follow-through from Delman Young on that 0-2 pitch. I don't know if he got the glove too close to the hitting area, or if it was just an elongated swing by Young.
He has. He's been known to get a little too close to the hitter. Let's watch the replay, or right on the forearm.
No,
ouch.
I don't think that was Victor's fault, though. That's just a case where Young a little too long on the follow-through. Ouch, right on the forearm.
Yeah, that hurts.
Not intentional. Accidents happen.
Yeah, right. Well, it is intentional, no, but you're going to tell that hitter, hey, shorten that swing up a little bit. Will you tighten it up, man?
It may not have been intentional, but the next one may be at your ear.
No reason to have that follow through.
Laffey trying to take care of Young. 0-2 pitch. Tied him up, and he fouls it back. 85th pitch of the game coming up here for Aaron Laffey. And he comes back with a base hit, so a terrific job by Delman Young, a 1-out single. And we'll bring up Jose Morales. If you joined us late, Indians got on the board in the first inning, a 2-out RBI double by Shin-Soo Choo, plating Grady Sizemore, who was at third base. Then in the third inning, as Drupal Cabrera had a 1-out RBI single that brought home Trevor Crowe. And then with 1 out, Ryan Garco brought home 2 runs, scoring Cabrera and Martinez to make it a 4-0 Indians lead. And to this point, Aaron Laffey has made it stand up. Jose Morales steps in. He's 2 for 2 today. He's been the one guy who has been able to solve Laffey. He has singled to center and doubled deep to center. Looks like the Indians bullpen is about to get busy. A little soft single, and Morales now 3 for 3. Young stopped at second, so 2 on with 1 out.
Well, it's amazing when you get confidence, and he has 2 hits, and 2 of them hit hard in his first 2 at-bats. He serves a nice little breaking ball the other way to keep things going. So a good approach there by Morales. So now it's back-to-back singles. Carl Willis will come out to try and, talk to Aaron Laffey. He's fine. He's only had 87 pitches, but they want to give that bullpen time to get loose.
Looks like Jensen Lewis and Tony Sipp both loosening for the Indians. 2 on, 1 out, and Nick Punto will be coming to the plate. We're coming back here on Channel 3 next Sunday when the Indians wrap up a weekend series in Detroit against the Tigers. Don't miss the Central Division Showdown, Indians Tigers, next Sunday at 1 right here on WKYC Channel 3, your official Cleveland Indians station. Carl Willis heading back to the dugout. And we'll pause right now for station identification. You're watching Cleveland Indians baseball. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you here at Progressive Field. Indians 4, Twins nothing, but Minnesota threatening here in the 7th.
Yes, he did.
So I think he offered at it, but Jim Joyce says no.
He did. It looked like he wanted to try and bunt one down the third baseline, but sometimes that's a tougher call for the first base umpire. Well, he went out there, maybe not. Got it back. He's just trying to make something happen, bring the infielders in.
Well, he's 0 for 2, and twice he's hit the ball to Johnny Peralta.
Well, he'd take a double play ball here for Laffey if he could.
Now Aaron down on the count 2-0. Way outside. 3 balls, no strikes. So now Laffey working himself into a jam here.
Well, here you're going to see Punto probably take 2 strikes. He's going to force Laffey to come all the way back. Because if he gets on, then you bring the tying run to the plate.
And it's high, ball 4, so he loses the number 9 hitter, and they're loaded. And here comes Eric Wedge, and that's going to do it for Aaron Laffey. He goes 6 1/3, and he leaves with the bases loaded and a 4-0 Cleveland lead. One out, and Denard Span will come on to pinch hit for Carlos Gomez here, and he will be facing Jensen Lewis, who takes over for Aaron Laffey.
Laffey went his 6 1/3, gave up 5 hits. A little disappointing that he had the last 2 guys got hits, but then that walk to Nick Punto on 4 straight pitches, something you did not want to see, because that brings a tying run to the plate now. But he was brilliant up until that point. So now he turns it over to the pen. And Jensen Lewis, 9 punch-outs in his 9 2/3 innings.
Denard Span's first appearance this year as a pinch hitter. And he looks at ball 1 down low. Third. Raffanino gave it a look. It's down low, 2 balls and a strike. According to the Twins media guide, Span did not have a pinch hit appearance last year.
Well, this guy's always starting. He was just going to get a day off so they could rotate their outfielders. But now in this situation, you put him in there.
Up the middle, and it's through. Twins are going to get 1 run. Coming around third, Morales, he's going to score. It's now 4-2. And going into third base was Nick Punto. So a huge 2-run single for Denard Span coming off the bench. And it cuts the Indians' lead in half just like that.
Right back through the wickets under Jensen Lewis. He put a short swing on it. It gets through. It gets Minnesota on the board. And that's why you don't take the chance. It was easy for Punto to go to third base, because with Span, a good runner, he's the tying run. You got to keep him out of scoring position. They still have the double play in order. But, here's a situation where Ron Gardenhire, he could send the runner here. Got pretty decent speed on the bases.
Brendan Harris 0 for 3, looks at strike 1.
That was the first hit from a Minnesota hitter in the 1 through 4 spots in the lineup. And, of course, that was the pinch hitter. They were 0 for 10.
Tying run at first base now for Minnesota. Rafael Betancourt has now joined Tony Sipp in the Indians bullpen. Strike 2 called, 0-2 the count. The dangerous Justin Morneau waits on deck. Aaron Laffey hoping to see this bullpen bail him out here. Now the 2-strike delivery. Just missed outside. Looked like Lewis was hoping for a strike call.
Well, you get that fastball away, and you see where Martinez was sitting. He was sitting in, that ball's away. And sometimes when that catcher has to go out there and reach for the ball, it may not get called. Didn't look too bad.
Harris able to hold up. And the count is even now at 2-2. Span does not go at first base. The ball dribbled up the first base line, or third base line. Span looked like he was itching to go. Took a couple of steps but stopped.
Well, for me, a lot of times I like the first and third when you have decent speed on the bases, because most times now the teams do not like to throw through, and stop that run, even though that is going to be the tying run. And this guy, Span's got good speed. You can see he's 3 for 3. But look who you have on deck, though. You've got that tying run that's looming on deck. That's why.
Full count.
Now you can start him full count if you want to.
Let's see if Span takes off at first base here. He's the tying run. He goes. The payoff is low, and they're reloaded for Morneau. And now we'll see what Eric Wedge decides to do here if he stays with Lewis. No, he's going to go for the rookie, Tony Sipp, in a bases-loaded one-out situation with the game on the line here in the 7th inning. A timeout here at Progressive Field. Sipp coming on when we come back. Trail by a pair now. Coming on for the Indians, left-hander Tony Sipp. Trying to save the day in a lefty-lefty matchup here. Well, the second time this year.
He's definitely going to get tested because he's got the bases juiced. There's only one out, and he's going to face Minnesota's best 2 hitters. You got Morneau coming on, and he's, they've always been the Minnesota's top RBI guy.
Tony Sipp's major league debut came a few days ago against the Kansas City Royals here at Progressive Field. Showed a good fastball and a very good slider as well. Nick Punto, the runner at third. Denard Span, who pinch hit, he's at second, and he can fly. He's the tying run. Brendan Harris, the go-ahead run at first. Justin Morneau, 0 for 2 here today. Has hit in 6 straight games. Sipp fires a fastball to the outside corner for strike 1. Tony Sipp, a former 45th round pick back in 2004 by the Indians out of Clemson. He's come back from Tommy John surgery. Morneau went too far, says home plate ump Brian Knight. Morneau not real crazy about that call, but he's down on the count now 0-2. That's borderline.
Well, he wanted him to get help. He didn't want him to call it. Is what he's maybe a little upset with.
So now Sip has Morneau in the hole 0-2. Down low. Tony Sip, Mississippi native. The 1-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. He got him. 2 down. Big strikeout for the Indians left-hander, but he's not out of the woods yet.
No, that was a big punch out, and he jumped ahead early in the count and gets him with a fastball, and he elevates it middle in, and empty comes Morneau. That is a very big strikeout there for Tony Sip and the Indians.
Now Jason Kubel 0 for 3 today. And a called strike, Adam Balin.
Well, they've never faced Sip before, so they don't know how hard he throws, what he's got. So advantage, I say, goes to Sip. But I like he's coming out. He's not afraid. He's not intimidated. He's getting strikes. He's getting ahead of the hitters.
Up high, 1-1 to count. Kubel, good career numbers in these clutch situations for Minnesota. A career .232 hitter.
Pretty good pitch.
Beg your pardon, career .238 hitter against left-handed pitching for Kubel.
Pretty good pitch here on a low fastball. Maybe a touch low.
Now a 2-1 count. Swung on and missed. He raised it up high, and Kubel tried to chase up to it. And he comes up empty. Now the count goes to 2-2. This crowd here at Progressive Field coming to its feet, trying to hope that Tony Sip can get through this inning and keep the Indians in front. Bases loaded for Minnesota, 2 down, and the 2-2 pitch to Kubel. Back to the screen.
Well, this is power against power. He was right on that one. You don't want to throw him that one again. That was a high fastball. Let's see that slider down and away.
The 2-2.
Thank you.
He went too far. Sip strikes him out. He saps the life out of the Twins, and Minnesota leaves them loaded. They get a pair. But it's stretch time here in Cleveland, and the Indians lead it 4-2. 7th here at Progressive Field. Minnesota will go back to their bullpen. They'll have a new left-hander coming on here. I believe this is Craig. Is this Craig Breslow?
Yeah, it looks like him.
Indeed it is. Briefly with the Indians a year ago. Breslow for the 8th time this year. Aaron Laffey went 6 1/3 innings today for the Tribe, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits, walked 4, struck out 1, got a couple of big double play balls early in the game. He shut out Minnesota through 6 1/3 innings. But then I don't know if he just ran out of gas or if the Twins just finally made a couple of key adjustments. They had back-to-back hits, and then he walked Nick Punto to load the bases. Eric Wedge went to the bullpen. Jensen Lewis gave up a 2-run single, but then Tony Sipp rides in and saves the day, at least for the time being, with 2 big strikeouts of Morneau and Kubel to leave them loaded for Minnesota.
That was, you're exactly right. Tony Sipp right there. A couple of big punch-outs to keep it a 2-run game very easily. Could have changed the whole complexion.
So Craig Breslow will now face Trevor Crowe, Grady Sizemore, and Asdrubal Cabrera. Rafael Betancourt will continue to loosen in the Indians bullpen, so figure we'll see him in the 8th. Crowe singled, stole a base, and scored in that 3-run Indians 3rd inning. Breslow gets it in there for a first pitch strike. Bouncer towards second base. Brendan Harris takes care of Crowe, 1 down. Let's go back to the studios for a Ford Sports Update. Ford Sports Update. Dave, what do you got? Here it's Grady Sizemore with the bases empty and 1 down.
Breslow, a guy that was at last spring training, came over right at the end from the Boston Red Sox. And just for some strange reason didn't pan out in the bullpen as a left-hander, and then Minnesota picked him up, gave him an opportunity, and did a decent job for him last year.
Grady Sizemore has his 2nd hit today. He's 2 for 4. And a 1-out base runner now for Asdrubal Cabrera.
Well, create your own Indians collectible in 3 easy steps using your favorite photos on Indians.com. Make your personal memories a collectible. Visit Indians.com today.
Cabrera having a great day offensively. He is 2 for 2. He's also walked, driven in a run, scored a run. And with Grady Sizemore aboard at first and working with a 2-run lead, Eric Wedge can keep the pressure on the Twins right here. Sizemore, of course, has the green light, so if he can figure out Breslow's move, he could be off early in this at-bat. 3 straight throws over.
Well, the more he throws over there, the better read Grady's going to get.
Doesn't appear that he's got a great move.
Well, I mean, he gives you he's got 2 or 3 different ones, slow, but once he starts going to the plate, Grady will pick him up because the more a lefty throws over, the better. He gives him that straight up leg kick and then goes to the plate to slow him down. You know, everybody has their own things, and you look for certain things from a left-hander, where his eyes are looking. Will he look to first base first before he goes home? Will he look to home plate before he comes to first? Little things that, you know, if you look and study hard enough, you can pick it up.
In poker, you'd be looking for a tell.
Yeah,
something
and every pitcher has
that
one.
he doesn't realize he does. That
right.
Tips you off.
Right. I mean, sometimes it's tough because you never get to see this guy a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And you're on first base, and you don't have many.
A strike call, 1-on-1 to
any
count.
Video from these guys just going home or coming to first base. So it's something that you have to read. And over there, Luis Rivera's got to help him out too. Try and pick him up, and he's got to study to see if he can pick anything.
There he goes, and a throw to first. Morneau throws down.
Guessed wrong. He didn't really pick anything up, but you keep throwing over there. So for the second time this year, Grady has been caught.
2 down now.
He was just going on first movement, and anytime a left-hander's over there and you get a jump, you just continue to go. You don't stop and get in a rundown, because sometimes that first baseman has a tough time getting it out of his glove, and you got to make him make a good throw as well. See, he's describing right now what he was looking for in that delivery or in that throw to first base.
2-1 pitch. Evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Breslow with a 2-2 to Cabrera. And he got him. We go to the 8th inning here at Progressive Field. It's Cleveland 4, Minnesota 2.
Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Eighth inning here in Cleveland. Indians with a 4-2 advantage over the Twins. Tribe trying to take the finale of this series and avoid being swept. Joe Crede, Michael Kadire, Delman Young. Scheduled hitters, 3 right-handed bats. Right-hander Rafi Betancourt comes on to try and bridge the gap and get the ball to closer Kerry Wood. 8th appearance for Rafael Betancourt so far this year.
Well, he's got all 3 right-handers that he's due to face. It's Creedy, Kadire, Young.
Last 5 games, Betancourt has given up 3 runs on 5 hits and 5 1/3. His last appearance was a scoreless inning in the series opener. Swung on and missed. Creedy's certainly very familiar with Betancourt. Good fastball. 0-2 the count. Raffy trying to make quick work of the Twins leadoff man. Pops it weakly in the air to right. Mark DeRosa makes the running catch, and that's his first. I beg your pardon. It's his second play in the outfield today. He did grab one off the bat of Michael Kadire back in the 4th inning. Tonight on STO, 7 o'clock, Bruce Drennan has All Bets Are Off. Then at 9, it's the Golf Zone with Jimmy Hanlon. Turn on over to STO later tonight for all your sports news and information. Big day in the NFL draft, NBA playoffs, lots going on. Here is Kadire, 0 for 2 with a walk. That was a great pitch by Betancourt.
Yeah,
you don't see a lot of off-speed stuff, but you could tell he had Kadire way out in front.
Well, for Rafi, this matches up very well this 8th inning here to try and bridge the gap, because you're getting the Twins, a team that he knows. You're getting all right-handed hitters in there. You can see he has had success against Betancourt in the past, but he is locked in on that outside corner. He is throwing darts out there.
And pitching from ahead in the count certainly helps. In the air, center field, Sizemore right there to make the grab. 2 down.
Well, Indian 6-pack ticket plans are available. There are 10 packs to choose from. And you'll receive a ticket for the June 1st Yankees game absolutely free when you purchase the 6-pack. So visit Indians.com for the details.
Now, there was an at-bat where a manager's not going to have any problem with you coming back in the dugout, because he was down in the count and he made a loud out. That was a hard hit ball. Just happened to hit it right at the Indian center field.
Once you get to 2 strikes as a hitter, your job is to just, cut down a little bit and try and put it in play and get on base, especially when you're down 2 runs. No, not at all. When you hit a ball that hard, and it was to the biggest part of biggest part of the ballpark, there's nothing you could say. That was a good at bat, battling against a tough pitcher.
Delman Young singled and scored his last time up. Swung on and missed. 0-2.
I like the breaking ball. A couple of them this inning.
It almost seems imperative for him to advance his career. He's got to be able to throw that breaking ball when he needs to.
He can. He's got a good changeup too. It's just a matter of pitching.
Got him with another breaking ball. Betancourt sets him down 1-2-3. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th with the Tribe in front 4-2. Tribe on top going to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Progressive Field. Victor Martinez, Shin-Soo Choo, Ryan Garko to face Craig Breslow. It's been a gorgeous day here at the ballpark. Temperature in the upper 70s, low 80s. What a weekend we've had, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just spectacular.
Yeah, it really has been. It's almost like a June weekend.
Red Sox come to town tomorrow. Boston will be here for 3. It all starts tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Cliff Lee against Tim Wakefield. We'll have it for you on Sports Time Ohio at 7 o'clock. It's going to be another warm evening in downtown Cleveland. Hope you come out and be part of it. Same 2 teams Tuesday and Wednesday night. All 3 games at 7. All 3 games on STO. Glad you're with us today here on Channel 3, where the Indians lead a 4-2. Bottom of the 8th. Victor Martinez takes a belt-high pitch for strike 1. Extended his hitting streak to 6 games with a 3rd inning single. He scored a run. He's also hit into a double play and fly to center. Martinez with 23 hits in his last 52 at-bats, which is why his season batting average still over 400. Martinez started the day 2nd in the AL to Kevin Youkilis of the Red Sox, who will be here tomorrow in batting average. Youkilis blistering American League pitchers to the tune of a .444 average, and they're going for a sweep of the Yankees. They've won 9 straight.
Yeah, they've been hot. They've got tonight's game.
Martinez, a 1-hop sizzler to Harris at 2nd, takes care of him 1 away. Here are the results of today's Alltel text poll question. We asked you your opinion. And the majority, by a slim margin, looks at the bullpen.
Well, the starters continue to go 6 innings plus. That bullpen's going to be fine. I think it's got off to such a bad start because of the starters not getting out there and giving Wedge any length in a ball game.
Shin-Soo Choo looks at a ball up high. Speaking of the Red Sox, Kevin Youkilis starts today leading the league in average. Mike Lowell starts today leading the league in runs batted in.
Well, you know they have offense. We know that. They do every year, and they play well in their home park. You got to protect your own ground when they come in here.
And the Indians will play 6 games this year at Fenway. A 2-gamer coming up on the next road trip. A 4-gamer to end the season.
Again, we end the year there, huh?
The 1-2. Out of play. Yeah, 4 in Fenway, October 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Craig Breslow has given up 1 hit in an inning in the 3rd. Up high 2-2. The 2-2. Popped out of play. White Sox and Blue Jays tied at 3. Tigers lead the Royals 3-1. They're in the 6th. Here the Indians lead the Twins 4-2, bottom of the 8th. They've got Kerry Wood heating up in the bullpen. And now a full count to Chu. Minnesota has activity in their pen. And he walked him. So Chu has walked twice today. That's 13 walks on the year. And that's going to do it for Craig Breslow. Ron Gardenhire wants a right-hander, with the Indians having 4 consecutive right-handed bats in the order coming up next. So we've got a timeout. Tribe on top 4-2. Here, bottom of the 8th. And Luis Ayala will come on now to pitch for Minnesota in relief of Craig Breslow.
Ayala appeared in yesterday's ball game. Came in and pitched an inning, gave up a hit, and had a strikeout. Came in with the bases loaded, nobody out, and ended up, they only got 1 run, so he did a nice job. Got the double play ball. Coming on to keep this a 4-2 ball game in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Indians with 1 on, 1 out, and Ryan Garko coming to the plate.
So Ayala to face Garco, who had a 2-run single in the 3rd inning. Chu, who has 3 steals on the year, is at first. Garco sends a fly ball fairly deep left center. But Span is there to make the grab, and back to first goes Chu, 2 down. We'll bring up Johnny Peralta. Luis Ayala was off to a brilliant start to his career. Professionally, he made his major league debut with the Expos in '03, and he went 10-3 out of the bullpen with a 2.92 ERA. Following year, he pitched in 81 games for Montreal with a 2.69 ERA. The year after that, when they moved to Washington, he pitched in 68 games, had a 2.66 ERA. And then in '06, things got strange. He pitched in the World Baseball Classic for Mexico, even though the Nationals didn't want him to. They tried to appeal because they felt he had a bad elbow. And sure enough, he pitched in the 9th inning of a game and sprained the ulnar collateral ligament, which ultimately led to Tommy John surgery. So he missed almost the entire '06 season because of that. Then he came to camp in '07, and he told the officials, well, there's more bad news. I was on a fishing trip, and I got accidentally hit with a shotgun pellet by a stray gunfire.
Tough friends.
It was an accident, but still, it was just one of those things. Some of the pellets, they said, would stay in there. They couldn't remove them. But he has obviously been able to come back, and now pitching with Minnesota after becoming a free agent. He was ultimately traded to the New York Mets. That was last year after the trading deadline in August. He was having a rough year with Washington last year with an ERA of 5.77. This is a guy who was really dynamite for them for a number of years. Fouled away. Two down with a runner at first here in the 8th, and the Indians on top 4-2. Johnny Peralta. All the kids that came today got wristbands, headbands with his number 2 on them. One-two from Ayala. Missed away with it. Evens the count. That runner at first, the responsibility of Craig Breslow. Pitched an inning in the 3rd today. Walked 1, struck out 1, allowed a hit. Shattered the bat, hit his foot with it. It's been that kind of a week for Peralta.
That's severely getting jammed right there. I mean, he hit that ball off the handle and went off his foot. And not very far. It almost hit him in the thumbs. So that's ouch. More than one way.
Double owie.
Yeah. Double owie is right.
Johnny trying to snap an 0 for 22. And a base hit into right field will do it. Going to 3rd is Chu. And the Indians have runners at the corners with 2 out. Well, it wasn't a moonshot. It wasn't an extra base hit, but Johnny's standing on first base for the first time in a while.
It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you make a left turn, you know, and you can say, okay, finally. It's not that tough to get a hit. And sometimes little things like that, a bloop, a little chinker or a broken bat, are the things that get you going.
Peralta telling Justin Morneau it's been a while. Feels good to be down here. Here is Mark DeRosa, who knows all about it. He's 0 for 2 today. He did walk his last time up. One for his last 18. Looking to add some insurance for the Tribe here in the bottom of the 8th. Kerry Wood ready to come on for the 9th. Only question for Wood, will it be a 2-run lead he's protecting or more? One and one to count. Two balls and a strike. Pitch just off the outside corner. And that just shaved the outside edge, much to the chagrin of DeRosa. And the count evens at 2-2. This is already the 4th time this year in which the Indians have lost the first 2 games of a series. They were swept, of course, in Texas to open the year, but they came back to win the finale against Toronto and Kansas City. On a follow suit here with a win against Minnesota. And they lead at 4-2, bottom of the 8th. DeRosa strikes out. We'll go to the 9th. Kerry Wood coming on. Indians with a 2-run lead. We go to the 9th inning here at Progressive Field with the Indians clinging to a 4-2 advantage. They'll turn to Kerry Wood to try and protect it here and get the Indians a victory.
Kerry Wood looking for save number 4 in his 7th game. I'll tell you, following suit for this bullpen, Tony Sipp came on, struck out 2 guys. He threw 10 pitches, 7 strikes. Betancourt came on to pitch the 8th inning. He threw 10 pitches, 9 strikes. So those 2 guys out of their 20 pitches, 16 strikes. Terrific job so far to that point. Now they can turn it over to Kerry Wood and see what he can do.
Jose Morales will face Kerry Wood here to start the 9th inning for Minnesota. And he looks at a fastball in for strike 1.
Morales has had a great afternoon, 3 for 3.
With a double and a run scored. Nick Punto waits on deck, and then Denard Span. Off-speed pitch missed outside. Way inside. Ran it past him, and the count evens at 2-2. Four of his 6 appearances this year for Wood are scoreless. There's a little bloop shot the other way, a base hit, and Morales is 4 for 4 here today.
Well, again, a ball that gets inside on him, and he just goes the other way. He's just in the protect with 2 strikes. He goes down and in and flares it out of there. So a good job to get on base by Morales, and that brings a tying run to the plate for the Twins. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Nick Punto.
Brian Busher will be called off the bench.
For Minnesota, pinch hitter batting for Punto, number 32, Brian Busher.
Left-handed pop here.
His second pinch hit appearance. He's 0 for 1. The Twins 1 for 7 this year in that department. No, excuse me, 2, because Denard Span got the base hit to drive in 2 this afternoon.
Busher hit .294 last year for the Twins. In 70 games, over 200 at-bats. And Wood falling behind now, 3-0. Busher, a career 300 hitter as a pinch hitter, 3 for 10. He was 2 for 4 last year in pinch hit situations. Four-pitch walk to the pinch hitter. So now we got trouble. 2 on, nobody out. And we go to the top of the order in Denard Span.
Now batting the center fielder for 2, Denard Span. Also for the Twins, pinch running at first base, number 25, Alexi Castillo.
Alexi Castillo will run for Busher at first base. And the batter is Span, who had a pinch hit 2-run single in the 7th. Castillo the tying run at first. And Wood fires a first pitch strike. Indians in at the cut of the grass on the corners. Middle infielders looking for the double play ball. And a called strike. makes it 0-2. Now Wood looking in for the 2-strike delivery. He fires. And Span spoils it. Keeps himself alive. Normally this is where Wood is almost unhittable. And he gets ahead 0-2. Like a lot of great closers, he's got that killer instinct. Double play ball. 4, 6, 3, and they turn 2.
Boy, you take it right there off a guy that can get down the line very well. Beautiful job for Wood to get the ground ball. You know, considered a strikeout pitcher, but he'll be happy to trade that ground ball. Very nice.
Time now for our Northern Ohio Buick Pontiac GMC performance of the game. Tony Sipp came on, bags juiced, only 1 out, and he struck out Morneau and Kubel to get out of the jam and keep it a 4-2 game.
Well, and he's done a nice job matching up against the lefty. 7 out of his 10 pitches today were for strikes.
Here's Brendan Harris. 0 for 3 with a walk. Takes a strike. Ideally, you'd love to see Wood end it right here, so you don't even have to think about Justin Morneau coming up next. The 0-1. Good. Off-speed pitch. Dropped it in there for strike 2. On their feet here at Progressive Field, and the 2-strike pitch is a little bit high. $20,153 here at Progressive Field, and most of them are up clapping and stomping. Trying to get Kerry Wood through this 9th and get the Indians a win. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled away, and Harris keeps himself alive for the time being. Kerry Wood has struck out 11 in his 6 innings of work on the year. Back out of play. Runner at third with 2 down for Minnesota. And Wood's 1-2 pitch is strike 3 called. Kerry Wood has his 4th save, and the Indians have a victory. They beat Minnesota to avoid the sweep. Tribe goes to 7-12 on the year. Minnesota drops